Welcome to A Date with Danu, right here on High TV, your luxury channel. Season 2. Well, it has come to its end. After 16 long weeks, this is my favorite episode, where I get a chance to take a look at the past 4 months and see how these people have reacted to some of the fun questions that I threw at them. This has been nothing but a great season full of ups, downs, and even nearly a court case. True. And at the same time, I have to say a big thank you to all our sponsors. Lanka Bell, thank you so very much for being our title partner and helping us out for all these months. A big shout out to our hospitality partner, the Kingsbury Hotel. Not forgetting Arc Salons in making us look gorgeous, and Imtiaz Designers for giving us the look and feel that we need. And those fabulous photographs that you see of all my guests, all thanks to Jonathan Studios. 20th January 2019, I broke into the brand new season with the Danu brothers. But this particular show, I really wanted to know some goss about their lives. And of course, the controversy that comes along with being in the music industry. And Rohan did not hold anything back. There were times when I was like, are you sure that's a take? So Ishan, there's always a bit of a tight situation between musicians in this industry because one, we are playing to a very small audience, and number two, the competition and the talent is humongous. How is the relationship between the Danu brothers and Soundary David Rodrigo?
Let's put it this way, Soundary David is a wonderful, wonderful musician, probably the best pianist we have in Sri Lanka.
And all what Ishan did was because he didn't know what to do. But here's the fun part. Ishan did confess that he's the abused wife in this relationship because he has to do all the work when Rohan just comes on stage and wins the hearts. How do you all make it fresh every day and refresh it every day?
Yeah, I think some wives say that we should have been married to each other because
you would have been the abused wife. My second episode. Well, I cannot ask for a better pair. Kolu and Ching. Now, these two are known, you know, they do speak their mind off. But something that Kolu spoke about is the fact that you know how Colombo is and how Colombo has expanded itself and how people will do whatever to be in the whole society outlook and so much more. Kolu, now, this word called high really created a stir in Colombo. Back in the days, to get onto the magazine, they will hold on to your hand for years. But now, tell me, where do you see this society drive?
It will never end, Danu, because Colombo they love publicity.
For themselves?
For themselves. They don't care which magazine they come in, they don't care.
As long as they are there.
As long as they're there. They're all hoping to get into the cover or something. Yet, everyone who says they don't want to be in the high is dying to be in the high. Because they are not in the high, they're saying it. Maybe the glamour is not as much as it started because now there are many other magazines. Many. Gosh, you go to a bookstand in a supermarket, you see so many. I haven't even heard of them, some of them.
Episode number 3 for season 2. This was a very special episode. These two sisters are powerhouses when it comes to their voices. And this show was literally kind of cursed. Every time I tried to get them on the show, it was impossible. Then Umara's studio burnt down and Umaria was abroad and the list goes on in terms of excuses and reasons why we couldn't find a date that we could all meet and sit and talk. We spoke about some great things and I did dig up some dirty pictures on what's on their Facebook. In terms of fashion, they did come a long way. How did you all work on your fashion today? Like, you all have really evolved because from this...
Hey, look. I don't think... Okay, listen. Look, at that point, I thought I was really cool.
Look at...
Oh my God, Buddhi. At least she looks okay.
Why did she wear even someone's apron?
It's not an apron. I mean, I'm wearing an apron.
10th of February 2019, I had this pair on the show. They share a very long friendship. They have traveled to many parts of the world, and at the same time, they have been each other's support system for a long, long time. You all have traveled so much together, and who has the fun part of it? Who is the one?
We both have fun, right, Ranil?
When you go overseas, it's and I mean, in the sense that we have similar interests. We're not sort of mad keen on seeing everything to be seen in a city. We like to eat good food. I, of course, love to go shopping.
Yes,
Shiromal trails behind me and buys everything I buy.
It's much easier.
We did touch on one controversial topic about this Sri Lanka video that became a bit of a story in the ad agency industry, and also about hospitality and so much more. Ranil, now, lately, social media started buzzing about you, and there were so too many names running around, and a lot of name calling and a lot of name tagging.
Oh, really?
Yes, for this campaign called So Sri Lanka. What in the world happened?
Well, I wasn't involved with it, so that I can clear myself, but I can basically, when the Sri Lanka tourism uses agencies to produce footage, the footage is the property of the tourist board.
Right.
So therefore, the agency that shot that footage, the footage belongs to the agent, to the tourist board.
Because they have paid you for the campaign.
Exactly.
Right.
So they get intellectual property rights for it. However, when J. Water Thompson was awarded the contract to the So Sri Lanka, because their brand was what the panel chose, the branding. To produce the video, they were given stock of footage, and which they used for the launch video.
Right.
And obviously it had to be done in a very, very short time. I think less than a month. So they used that, and the agency decided to go a little ballistic over that.
Sonali and Pushpadeva. If you sit and talk to them, you'll be like, what an odd couple. Now, Sonali spoke about this pair of specs that she uses. It doesn't belong to her. It belongs to some other person. She just found it and she kept it with her all her life. You can't see, you have always used everyone else's spectacles, and at the same time what you use right now these days, but something that you robbed. It's not even yours, right?
It's not mine.
Where did you find it?
I don't remember. I know I walked out I was using somebody's glasses.
And you walked
somewhere.
out with it?
I walked out, and then like after using it for a while, I thought, oh my God, whose glasses have I come with?
It's such an ugly pair that she continuously uses it.
It's horrendous, but it works so well.
Pushpadeva, on the other side, had apparently started off a Facebook account which got deactivated very quickly because Sonali saw him chatting up some of his ex-crushes and girlfriends. Push, so why aren't you on Facebook?
Where are you? My son did a profile, I mean like the Facebook, the whole account for me.
Okay.
And on the third day, maybe fourth day, Sonali logged into my Facebook account and said, you know, there was one girl from New Zealand, one girl from US.
No, all his ex-girls.
Right.
Logged in, you know. So she cancelled my account, that's it.
That's it? How
and said,
possessive.
you can never go into Facebook again.
Such a possessive wife.
Yes, I know.
Rukshi and Carl. I'm telling you, these two are super interesting together. Now, Carl is kind of closer to Rukshi's mom's age. Carl, you have not told me that you're going to hit 50 this year. I would have never known.
So we have a couple of years between us.
What do you mean, couple of years? You're like a creative sister. I mean, hello. Any other 50-year-old? Come on.
She's a little bit younger than I am.
He's closer to my mother's age than to my age.
Okay.
No, Rukshi did try getting married to another person. That marriage lasted less than 7 days, apparently. Both of you were once married, but not to each other.
Yes, correct.
But you all have been going out for 10 years.
Yes. This year, 10
okay.
years.
And in the middle of all of this, Rukshi ran away and got married.
Yes.
Why?
Because it was a proposal.
It was a proposal, but you couldn't like fight it. You couldn't use your mouth. You couldn't use your mouth.
It was my mother.
Oh, okay, fine.
Trust me. My mouth multiplied by 100. No, didn't work there.
Didn't work. And she said, I don't know where that man is. But she found her love once again with Carl, and they're happy for so many years. Now, here's a story about how Butter Boutique started. It was always just a 5,000 rupee note that sort of became what it is today. It's a lot of hard work, and 10 years made Butter Boutique what it is today. Now, the making of Butter Boutique, now there's a bit of a story that you gave her like 5,000 bucks and said, start it.
Yeah. She was...
Butter Boutique is here entirely because of him.
Oh, really?
She was obviously very talented food-wise and baking-wise. And she kept making me lots of delicious stuff. And I basically said, why don't you
just share the
money out? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
also the fact that I think I was annoying you, calling you about 100 times a day because I didn't have a job.
Yeah.
He's like, here's 5,000, here's the name, go start something.
Rukshi's show also had a big slice of cake for me to eat. With one question that I asked, it sort of backfired with the two big cake companies battling it off in Colombo. Anyway, moving on from there, we spoke to the face of Colombo Fashion Week. Now, there was a huge controversy that came about this year saying, who owns Colombo Fashion Week? Who is the person behind the name? So there was a problem with Colombo Fashion Week. Was it a problem? I don't know. But there was a management issue, and there was a partnership that sort of, there was conflict.
Well, it was not really too much of a problem. It was like, you have barriers in when the company is growing, the structure is growing. And I think, we didn't see eye to eye a lot of things. So I was very similar on my vision, where we're going. And, we overcame it amicably, and it's back where it belongs.
After many months of hearing that person's, this person, everyone's story, it was told it's Ajay. All right, this is the first time I got a guest back on the show, Tanuja, as a filler.
We were just discussing this, and we said that you probably want to this time reverse the bus back over me that you threw me under in the first episode, just to make sure you finish the job.
No,
off.
it's just that I needed a filler segment.
All right.
Yeah. Now, this poor man called Rob is a designer, and he is actually the reason why Radhika got into design. Now, she at one point ended up working at the reception of Beyonce's store, and eventually she got into a design section and eventually became a designer, and even Beyonce wore one of her designs when she went for one of her red carpet events. Tell me about you working with Beyonce. Now, she wore your outfit in Korea or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was working for her, so I designed that one day for the company, and she took the sample and she wore it in Korea. So that was amazing.
Simple as that.
Simple as that.
She's not on your speed dial. I just want to know that.
No, unfortunately not.
But in the meantime, Radhika destroyed at least 5 of Rob's machines, and now they're happily married. Now, she broke all your machines.
She did.
To create her brand.
Yeah. It was actually my mom's machine, and I stole it from her.
Because if it was a Sri Lankan mother-in-law, that would have not been nice.
No. Eventually, the mother and him bought me a machine, because they were so sick of me breaking the machine. They were like, Merry Christmas, here's a goddamn machine.
Next up, I had Michelle and Onela. 2 beauty queens on the show. Mom who is so proud of Onela, and Onela who is so giving and so caring. Any given time, if you speak to Onela, she's just, she will even write her house off to someone. That's who Onela is. But I was so happy that she was recognized on the international stage when she went to represent Sri Lanka for Miss Universe. After a very long time, we had, well, actually, it's the first time that we had a mini title being won by a Sri Lankan, and it's such a great privilege. She is the reigning Miss Congeniality at Miss Universe 2018. You heard me right. We actually have an international title for Sri Lanka. She needs to be bigger than this.
Oh
Onela, how many pageants have you gone for?
Oh boy, here we go.
How many pageants?
I've been to 5 international pageants.
International, locally?
Actually, locally I was nominated, so locally
Always,
only twice.
From the time I know you have been Miss Sri Lanka, I'm like, when does this girl stop being Miss Sri Lanka? Brian and Daniel Kirkhoven. Now, normally we do a photo shoot with the Jonathan brothers, a little bit of a shoot so that it comes out on the papers for pre-publicity. Normally we do a very basic shoot by like smiling. But how to compete with these two? My God, they literally raped that red chair. Then I tried to do the same thing, and the chair couldn't be seen. But we did speak about Brian's posing skills. Even if you wake Brian up from the grave, I'm telling you, he's going to pose if the camera is in front of him. So Brian, when it comes to posing, it's always a pose. Never a normal photo, no?
No, there are a few.
What's this pose?
Oh my
God. What's this pose?
I don't understand.
You look like a post box.
Yes, I know. I do.
Danielle did go through a bad hair time. We sort of asked her about it. It was this yellow blonde. What were you thinking when this happened?
Oh, that was my blonde days.
Yeah, like I know, but like I'm sure it made heads turn.
I have had my hair colored in every single color possible. So that was just one of them.
Okay. Yeah. The well-known puss combination, Dominic and Pasan. These two are really, really funny. Did ask him a few questions because Pasan actually owns this one suit. We were quite confused whether he actually borrowed it from somewhere or like rented it for the day, but he said no, that's his. Pasan.
Hi.
This suit is yours.
Yeah, the suit is mine. This is yours. Thank you very much.
Okay.
For this, to get it out there, but it's
the suit actually is yours, right?
Yeah, actually it's mine. I bought it.
Yeah.
It's the cheapest one in this.
But it's very nice. So you look really good.
No one needs to know. No, he's asking.
And Dominic dressed his best, where he actually got this suit done, one-day service in Thailand. And that's what he was very happy about. Now, we did speak about their acting skills and the fact that, you know, their direct competition these days and who made the better puss and the whole works. And of course, Dominic said, you know, he made the best puss. But here is where the question got a bit interesting, because I asked Pasan, out of a few names like Gehan Block and Dino and him, how do you rank Dominic? He really pushed Dominic as the 4th place. And Dominic was literally heartbroken. Rank the following according to talent in your opinion.
Oh, what?
According to talent. Rank the following according to talent, according to your opinion. Dominic, Gehan, Dino, Anuruddha, Adam Ali.
Hell of a question. Number 1 is Adam Ali. Number 2 is Gehan. Number 3 is Dominic.
Dino,
and Dominic. Number 3 and 4. And then number 5 is Anu.
Shaq and Mark. Now, these two have been just jumping around radio for a long, long time. Now, we spoke about Shaq and his, you know, how he founded radio in Sri Lanka, because he's that long on radio. But at the same time, it was fun because, you know, Mark, he says it how he sees it. And it was quite funny because when he joined us on the show on the second half, I asked, Mark, how was it to work with Shaq? You know, how was it to like work for him and work with him? He said, oh, he was very understanding and so supportive. I said, are you talking about the same Shaq? He was like, oh, you want me to tell you the truth? Like how he, like, you know, gets people sacked and how he was rude to you when he was working there. I was like, oh, we don't need to go to that extreme. How was it to work with Shaq? I've never asked you this.
You haven't. So, yeah, Shaq is a bit of a perfectionist. You know, he wants to...
You're actually very kind to him.
Well, in front of the camera, try my best to be as, you know, diplomatic as possible. Okay. But yeah, he is horrible. Yeah. He did so many bad things to so many people for so long, including you. Right? Cameras, check that out. So, yeah, you want that version or the other version?
I did speak to Shaq about his live event, the concert that became the biggest controversial story to a point the president spoke about it. There are many concerts that Enrique has sung, but to a point that when I went to Bangalore once, I went to this place and they said, you're from Sri Lanka? And I said, yes. My son was the one who was on stage when somebody threw a bra at him. My son carried the pole. It was like a huge thing. I was like, right, okay. I have a picture of him on stage.
With the bra?
No. Date with Danu, together with all the programs on High TV, took a small break as we stood by those who lost their lives and the ones who were affected by the 21st bombing. And after that, we found a way to put that smile on our face and to go on with life. And we had to rebuild, and we wanted to continue shooting, and we wanted to get 2 people who are inspiring. And one person really did make Sri Lanka proud. That's, of course, Johan, who touched Mount Everest and spoke so much about the fact of determination and knowing the fact that you're going to make it is all what it takes. Johan is a true inspiration, and we spoke about his friendship with Tanuj for many, many years. So, Johan, tell me about your friendship with Tanuj. When did it start?
Wow. Better give out a lot if I tell you when it really started.
When I kind of used to wear what you showed before, most of the day.
You wore the same thing?
No, it's much smaller. Let's not make this controversial now.
After the attack, the biggest story was all about tourism. How are we going to rebuild our country? How are we going to make people from across the world believe in Sri Lanka once again? And I had to get the man who's in the hot seat, and that's, of course, Kishu Gomez and his longtime friend, Fazul Hamid. What a great friendship. And also the fact that Kishu modeled topless for Fazul was once the biggest story as one of the youngest CEOs of Sri Lanka for an international brand. Dates back many, many years ago when Fazul actually asked Kishu to model for him. This was when he was the CEO. And of course, there were so many CEOs who would have walked the ramp for Fazul and endorsed him and all. But Kishu took it a step higher and showed the packs.
I still remember the day.
So tell me, how was the convincing part?
Well, he's a great marketer, right? The entire world knows about him. No, so I mean, we two sort of came to kind of an agreement in terms of what the concept was, going to look like, and then of course the creatives came from the ad agency. And there I just removed my CEO's hat, right? And I had to start thinking, like a model to see how best I can support this concept and this creativity.
This year we saw the all-new Asikland, and there was a new Pusvedilla on stage. So I had to get one of the old Pusvedillas on the show, Anuruddha and Deduni. What's amazing about these two? First love. Love that eventually ended up in marriage, and they have a kid, and it's amazing. They are like friends. They talk about everything. They're so casual, no frills attached, and that's what makes their marriage click. And at the same time, I did ask Anu, because Pusvedilla was the story, I asked him, who played Puss best? Is it you, Dominic, or the new guy? And he said, it was me. Who played it better, you, Dominic, or Sulakshana, the new Puss?
I think I did it better.
My final show for season 2 was with Dinesh and Dinushka. Now, Dinesh, she was bold enough to speak about her transition and how her family was supportive and so much more, and about how fashion has been a part of her life for many, many years. That is, Dinushka and I have like a bit of a giggle past. There's always this whole age battle, and the brand Hello Kitty has a close bond. We got to know each other on this very interesting subject of Hello Kitty.
Yes.
So, when cats grow up, what we call them. But tell me, what's this love towards Hello Kitty?
Well, my daughter, who's now almost 17, was a huge fan of Hello Kitty.
Right.
And no matter where I went on work, traveling, we had to bring home something of Hello Kitty.
Right.
And Danu, we had the pleasure of running around Singapore. Looking for Hello Kitty.
And it's a wrap. Season 2 has been brilliant. We had a lot of free days in the middle of all of this, but it was an extended season, but we loved every bit of it. Now, we need to say goodbye, but before that, I need to say a big thank you to all those who made this show possible. Lanka Bell for powering the show and giving us super fast internet for us to update and upload everything as we go on with the show. Big shout out to our friends at ARC for making us look good. Imtiaz for designing some stunning suits to make the show look nice. Not forgetting our friends from Jonathan's. Now, these guys have taken some brilliant photographs. Do check them out if you want to take a picture just like how they take our pictures. And at the same time, not forgetting our hospitality partner, the Kingsbury Hotel, for welcoming us and giving us such great hospitality, and not forgetting to feed us. That's the best part. We need to say goodbye on season 2, but the best thing is we are launching season 3 with a brand new look and a brand new feel to it. Until I see you with season 3, it's a wrap.